All right, before we get into this, let me make one thing very clear. If anybody, I mean anybody, is trying to tell you that mortgage rates move for some other random reason or pointing to anything other than what I'm about to show you herein, they're wrong. You're talking to the wrong person. Hard stop, disengage with them. Mortgage rates are driven by two core things. Inflation is number one. The economic data that drives inflation is number two. And the effect or the impact that these two have on the way mortgage bonds are traded on Wall Street, that's what drives mortgage rates that you and I see on a daily basis. It's that simple, nothing else. Now, some people like to look at the 10-year Treasury bond, which is still a solid indicator. However, there are times that the 10-year Treasury bond and the mortgage bonds move in the same direction. This can be misleading and only part of the bigger picture. Most people can't explain this clearly. That's what this page is for. And I'm going to break it down in a simple manner. So once you see it, you'll never look at mortgage rates the same way again. You'll have clarity. You will not be confused. So let's get into it. Why is this so confusing to most people? It's counterintuitive. But once you understand it's actually the opposite of what you expect, it becomes a lot easier to grasp and comprehend. That's why I like to use the teeter-totter analogy. Or maybe you know it as a seesaw depending on what part of the US you grew up in. In any event, you're probably like, Mike, what the heck does a teeter-totter have to do with mortgage rates? Everything. A teeter-totter works on a simple principle, and that is when one side goes up, the other side comes down. That's simple. Teeter-totter. The movement of the teeter-totter is constantly balancing out the other side. And that's exactly how mortgage bonds and mortgage rates work. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about it. What you're actually looking at on the screen behind me, because for the most of you, it's probably the first time you're seeing this. This is a screenshot of mortgage bonds trading on Wall Street. It's made up of a lot of little green and red bars, and we call them candlesticks. Each candlestick is a marker on the chart that represents one full day of trading. So every single bar you see on this chart represents a business day, excluding Saturdays and Sundays, federal holidays, when the markets are closed. Now, along the bottom, you'll see a timeline with the months and dates listed, so you can track when everything happened. Now, here's the important part. The colors. Green is good. We like seeing green. That means mortgage bonds improved that day. When we see mortgage bonds improve, mortgage rates that you and I see typically are getting better. Rates are moving lower. Green is good. On the other hand, red's bad. We don't like seeing red. That means mortgage bonds declined on that day. When bonds decline, mortgage rates move higher. Now let's tie this back to the teeter-totter effect. Again, green, bonds improving, means rates are getting better. If bonds are getting worse and they're red, means rates are getting worse. Now, that's the most important piece of it all. And that is what you're paying attention to every single week. If you're about to get in the market or thinking about getting into the market. Inflation is the enemy of bonds. When inflation rises, it eats away at the value of a bond over time. And because of that, when inflation is high, or when there's concerns that inflation might rise, mortgage bonds struggle. And when mortgage bonds struggle, the mortgage rates that you and I see go up. And it's again, teeter-totter effect. When mortgage bonds lose yield and decline, mortgage rates move higher to compensate it. It's that simple. So if you're looking for one measurable to watch that drives mortgage rates, it's inflation. If inflation comes in higher than expected, you can expect mortgage rates to move higher. If inflation is cooling off, that's when mortgage bonds improve and the mortgage rates can start moving lower that you and I see. So how do you track all this? That's easy. Follow me online with your favorite social platforms. I update this weekly. All of my social handles are at the top of this page, and I share this with you. I share this with you, and you can share this with your friends or whoever. Why do I do this? Because most people fear the unknown, and it costs them thousands of dollars every year. I believe an informed and educated client makes stronger. more informed offers and decisions. Again, I update this every week so you can see the trend, understand what's happening, and know what's likely to come next. So use this as your resource. Come back to it. If you get any questions, just reach out to me. I'm here to help make sense of all the craziness. Talk to you soon.